What is up, you guys? This is your boy and the Matrix. I talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, and Japanese culture. So I'm sure that word is going around about, the scandal or at Nintendo of America here by Kotaku. Okay, and I know a lot of people feel kind of fishy about Kotaku, that Kotaku's not 100% honest, or they definitely tend to lean towards favoring a certain group of people. But I wanted to talk about this story, and I was debating as to whether or not if I should talk about it, because this has to do with like sexual harassment. However, it is part of geek culture, Nintendo of America. So I wanted to talk about this story, and I wanted to clear some things out, because it seems to me like I see a lot of these problems is that they don't really understand corporate America. They don't really understand how things are. And the fact that these game testers stay in this company for so long is also very questionable, right? So before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell for future notifications. And I'm going to journey to get 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your help. Let's keep on going. Okay, so it says Nintendo of America's testers say they face years of sexual harassment. And these are female game testers, by the way. They're female game testers. So you already know. So this is Activision Blizzard Part 2. This is the scandal with Activision Blizzard Part 2. Just let's keep that in mind. Okay, so so let's start with this. So the person's name is Hannah, which is not her real name. It says several employees had created a group chat on Nintendo's Microsoft Teams servers called the Laughing Zone. It was supposed to be a lighthearted place for coworkers to share memes with one another. That changed when a male translator was added to the group. Soon he posted Reddit screenshots about why Vaporeon was the best Pokemon to have sex with. Yeah, it says Hannah was disgusted by the explicit descriptions. When the conversation turned to Genshin Impact, the translator posted a GIF of Paimon, a child character in the game. And let me show you what that character actually looks like. Okay, so this is how the character actually looks like. So it's like a childlike type of character, right? So these guys at these places are creeps. And I always find it that like there's a lot of creepy people, a lot of creeps in the these gaming companies. Why is that? Right, so basically, this person, Hannah, was complaining that, it's the company is run by men, of course, and there was like she was, and it says it in the title. It says it in the title that she faced years of sexual harassment. Okay, years. And my question is, if this company was really that bad, why didn't she get up and leave, right? Because if you're experienced legitimate sexual harassment, and apparently her job manager, like, they didn't do anything about it. The only thing that happened was that I guess one of the guys was taken to like sexual harassment training or something like that. Like, I don't know. Right, but this girl, she was working for a temp agency. And if you guys know anything about temp agency, I've actually worked with temp agencies before. When they hire you to work for a company, they don't take you seriously because you are disposable. You are a temp. You're temping. You're temporary. And until the actual company hires you, nobody's going to care what happens to you. That's a fact. And it says Nintendo is not the only company that uses contract labor to test gamers, but it's one of the most profitable. So basically, Nintendo saves a lot of money by hiring people on a contract rather than just putting them on payroll. They just put them on a contract, right? Instead of hiring them directly. It saves them a lot of money. It saves them a lot of headaches. It's true, right? So this girl was actually with Aerotech. Has anybody ever heard of Aerotech? If you ever worked for a temping agency, you probably have heard of Aerotech. I've worked for them myself at some point in my life years ago. Okay, so this girl, she's complaining about that, see, her testing department was, what was it? She found out a more junior male contractor in her testing department was making $19 an hour, while she was making $16 an hour. So she asked Aerotech what she could do to close the wage gap, and fought for a pay increase for several weeks before she finally landed in $18 an hour. Okay. So there's plenty of reasons why this happens. Okay, so I know there's a lot of creeps working for this company, right? But there's plenty of reasons why this guy was probably making 19 and she was making 16. Number one, he was probably working there for a long time and they gave him a raise. Okay, number two, this is true, and I don't mean to be sexist, but when it comes to getting a raise, walking up to your boss, looking at your boss in the eyes and getting a raise, men are actually more likely to do that than women. So men are more likely to go up to their boss and ask for a raise than women. A lot of women are too afraid to do that, so they just stay with whatever it is that they're getting paid with, right? So, and eventually, because she was assertive, Aerotech did give her an increase. Again, so because she was a temp, she was a temp. Whatever happens to her on the job, whether it's sexual harassment or some bullcrap, she's a temp. She is disposable. If you work for a temp agency, you are disposable. If she's facing like sexual harassment, like Aerotech is not gonna do much about it. I mean, even here it says that the only repercussion the translator faced was being assigned to sexual harassment training, right? Not much happened. But they're not protecting Hannah because she's a temp, right? And what else? It says Hannah felt Aerotech was unsatisfactory. The Aerotech's response was unsatisfactory, and she had endured enough inappropriate incidents during the decade-long tenure working on Nintendo products. She worked there for 10 years, and then she quit her job because she felt that her workplace did not. It took you 10 years. 10 years to quit your job. That is crazy. That is crazy to me that it took her that long to quit. Because if she's been facing sexual harassment, I think like the first year, second year, or maybe the third year, she should have just quit and put that on her resume and then get the heck out of there. And every company has its culture. So if she was experiencing sexual harassment as a temp employee, I think she should have quit the first year or the second year, man. Put that on your resume and go find another job, man. But then again, it is a game testing job. It's kind of hard to find those jobs. But still, man, it's like, shit, that's a really long time for you to be enduring that. So it kind of makes me think that it kind of not makes me take this very seriously. Because there's people that complain about a certain situation wherever they are, but they stay there and they don't do anything. You know, you could leave. Anyways, whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button for future notifications. And guys, I will see you in the next video. This is your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed.